Hello, and thank you for tuning in, watching ANF Plus, Atlanta News First Plus here, streaming the first alert forecast for you on this cold and windy Wednesday that is underway across much of the southeast, but in particular North Georgia and Metro Atlanta. Again, it feels like a winter afternoon, technically still late fall here for another 2.5 weeks or so, but it feels like the holiday season. It feels like winter outside. We do have sunshine in the forecast, windy weather initially. And then, no matter where you are across North Georgia this evening, as the wind dies down, that sky remains clear and colder air filters into North Georgia. The setup is there for a widespread light freeze tomorrow morning and perhaps a localized hard freeze up in the mountains. So again, weather where you are right now, we're going to walk you neighborhood by neighborhood this Wednesday afternoon. Talk about current temperatures so you can get out the door, maybe lunch hour coming up here in just a little bit. We'll get you ready for that full hour by hour forecast, and then again, a closer look tonight into tomorrow morning as colder weather filters back into North Georgia and Metro Atlanta. If you have any weather questions, comments, concerns, want to remind you we're streaming across many platforms right now, including YouTube. That's the place to be, the account to follow, Atlanta News First on YouTube. If you have any weather questions, comments, concerns, feel free to reach out there. I'm First Alert Meteorologist Cutter Martin. You can also find me on social media. So again, just keep that in mind. If you do need any clarification on the forecast, we are here to answer those questions and give you that clarification here streaming live. Going to go ahead and offer up the forecast now. We'll start with current conditions outside. It is chilly, temperature of 50 at Hartsfield Jackson Atlanta International Airport. But look at Blairsville, 41. 49 Rome, 49 Gainesville, Carrollton in the mid-40s, 50 in Covington, 52 in Athens. These are actual temperatures, not what it feels like with that wind factored in. And it is the combo of the temperature and the wind speed. That is what you will need to be dressing for out there this afternoon. Again, it is chilly, but it is feeling even colder with the wind factored in. And coldest, and also one of the windiest spots up in the mountains right now. Of course, that Tucker temperature, that is inaccurate, but it is 40 at Blairsville, 33 up in Highlands, North Carolina, 47 in Clayton, Rabun County, 49 Chattooga on U.S. Highway 411. Cohutta actually is going to be right around 40 degrees right now. Dalton is at 46. So again, upper 30s, lower 40s. Up in the higher elevations, hour by hour forecast. It is going to warm up a little bit more than where we're at right now, but not by much. We're talking just a handful of degrees, 1, 2, 3 degrees warmer as we get into the middle of the afternoon, no matter where you are across North Georgia and Metro Atlanta. But it'll continue to feel chilly, if not cold, with that wind factored in. If you're thinking about grabbing lunch, Midtown, downtown Atlanta, keep in mind those winds, even stronger, Buckhead as well, filtered in between those buildings. So it's already cold, it's breezy across the board, and I would say a downright windy day amongst the buildings, Midtown, downtown, and the Buckhead portion of Atlanta. Similar conditions up in Sandy Springs. You get into the city, you find all those places where wind can tend to be filtered between the buildings. So just keep that in mind. We're going to be dealing with those winds through about late afternoon, 3:30, and then between 3:30 and 5, that sun angle gets lower, temperature starts dropping, but the wind speeds also do come down just a bit. So a calmer evening, and because we're going to drop our wind speeds, because we're going to keep the sky clear and this cold air mass is settling in, temperatures are really going to drop this evening. I mean, quickly. We're going to be back in the mid-40s by 6 p.m. dinner time. That's inside the perimeter. 40 by 8 p.m., 38 by 10, and probably settling back into the mid-30s by midnight. And you see that very light wind northwest at 3. I think that by the time we get into tomorrow morning, if winds remain light, we are going to wake up to some frosty conditions out the door tomorrow morning. In fact, we have that for you now. We're going to bring up your neighborhood by neighborhood low temperatures on today's edition of Weather Where You Are. You're going to bear with me here and we'll pull up that graphic. Again, tomorrow morning we're looking at a widespread freeze in many places. Not absolutely everybody, but many places are going to wake up to a temperature colder than 32. Let's start on the southwest side. Heflin, Alabama, that's in Cleburne County, 28 degrees, your low temperature tomorrow morning. Wedowee, 29. Roanoke, 28. 29 Greenville, 28 in Noonan, 28 Carrollton and Bremen. Zebulon, 29. Thomaston, down in Upson County, 31. Barnesville, 30. Jackson, 30. Inside the perimeter, it's possible even Midtown, downtown could fall just below freezing, but I think some neighborhoods maybe just above, 31 to 33. Pretty common low temperature numbers inside I-285 tomorrow morning. 29 Lawrenceville, a little colder up there. 30 Douglasville, Smyrna 30, 29 Roswell. So North Fulton, all of our communities up there. Milton, Roswell, Alpharetta, bleeding over into Johns Creek, and then getting into Gwinnett County. 29, 30, going to be popular low temperatures tomorrow morning. Light freeze. We're not worried about pipes or anything tonight, of course, but if you do have any sensitive plants, those late summer, early fall annuals that will kick the bucket if they are not covered with temperatures this cold, you will need to protect those tonight into tomorrow morning as temperatures do dip back below freezing. 29 Conyers, 29 McDonough, so even the south and southeast sides of town falling below freezing. Further to the east, we're looking at a widespread light freeze across East Georgia. 30, Monticello, Covington 29, Weiner 30. Up in Forsyth County, upper 20s to right around 30. Gainesville, adjacent to Lake Lanier, maybe just a touch warmer. Still, though, forecasting a light freeze, 31 to 32, pretty common up there. Clark and Oconee County settling down, bottoming out at a temperature around 30 tomorrow morning. Greensboro 30, Lexington, Georgia at 30 degrees. And, of course, the coldest temperatures on up in the mountains tomorrow. You can see Hayesville, North Carolina, Clay County, North Carolina, low to mid-20s. 28, your low temperature in Ellijay. Blue Ridge 26, Blairsville, a higher community up in elevation there, 23. Hiawassee 25, Clayton up in Rabun County 28. Dawsonville 29, Canton 29. So Bartow and Cherokee counties tomorrow morning, upper 20s the rule. And I do think there will be some frost tomorrow morning, kind of one of those clear but kind of frosty and cold mornings no matter where you're watching from across North Georgia and metro Atlanta. And again, on that note, if you would like clarification on your forecast, need to know what the weather will be out the door tomorrow morning, no matter what neighborhood you live in, you can reach out on YouTube. Again, we're streaming live right now. Roku, Amazon Fire Stick, AtlantaNewsFirst.com, the Atlanta News First app, First Alert Weather app. But if you have a question, if you would like some clarification on the forecast, YouTube is the place to be. Atlanta News First is the account to like and to follow. So if you do have any weather questions, comments, concerns, I'm actually monitoring that feed here, and I'd love to chat with you, answer any questions that you may have. Back to the forecast again, coldest up in the mountains, north side tomorrow, widespread mid to upper 20s in the mountains. That would qualify as a hard freeze. I think a light freeze for portions of the metro a little bit closer into town. And again, before then, this afternoon, it is going to be on the chilly side. It's brisk out there. It's already chilly. You factor in the wind, and it is feeling even colder outside. Afternoon temperatures today topping out just a couple degrees warmer than we are right now. Here is that city-by-city forecast for you. In Atlanta, that official temperature, Hartsfield-Jackson, Atlanta International Airport, 52. Gainesville, 51. Athens East Side, chilly, but technically a couple degrees warmer at 55. Athens, that temperature will still feel cooler despite the sun with the breeze factored in. Rome, 52, Noonan, 52. This afternoon, this is about 2:30, 3:30 in the afternoon. We'll briefly hit those numbers and then tumble back down this evening. Your evening commute forecast is shaping up nicely, not forecasting any weather woes, any issues out there. We will give it a green light. 52 on 3 p.m., or at 3 p.m., I should say, back into the upper 40s, 5 p.m., mid-40s, 6 o'clock this evening. So you'll be cranking the heat, especially later commuting across metro Atlanta. Temperatures tumbling quickly as the sun sets. But other than that, it's a gorgeous day. Sunshine. There are some clouds outside right now. And we did even have some flurries and some sleet pellets, grauple, basically soft hail or wintertime ice pellets up in the mountains of North Carolina, East Tennessee. I've not received any reports in Georgia, but would not be surprised if there was a flake or two at the highest of elevations. No accumulation, but a single flake or two certainly possible up in the far north and northeast Georgia mountains. Nothing for metro Atlanta. It's a lot of sunshine, a few clouds, chilly temperatures, and gusty winds that are in the forecast this afternoon on into early this evening. So back to that evening commute forecast. Hence the green light, no worries, but you will want to bundle up and make sure your heater, hopefully, your heater is working, because you will need it this evening, and if you don't need it this evening, you will certainly need it out the door tomorrow morning with temperatures settling back into the upper 30s, upper 20s rather, and lower 30s around metro Atlanta. So a freezing start Thursday. A little warmer tomorrow afternoon, approaching 60. I'd still call it cool. Friday morning 30s, mainly outside of I-285. Lower 60s Friday afternoon, and you will notice more clouds around Friday. We're going to wave bye to a complete sunshine that we'll have this evening. And then on Thursday, clouds return Friday. Now, we do have a speed bump and an otherwise dry forecast. That is going to be late Saturday into Sunday. I think Saturday evening plans could be impacted by some rain, but it will be scattered and it will be hit or miss and it will be moving. It's not going to rain for hours, but keep in mind we are going to need to keep an eye on the timing of this next system, but it does look like mainly a Saturday night on into Sunday system, hence the first alert Sunday. Rain and a few storms possible Sunday morning, if not likely, probably likely at this point, looking very likely, in fact, that we will have showers and thunderstorms around Sunday morning, and they could linger into the afternoon, but this is a two-parter. First we have the rain, and then we have the storms, and then tumbling temperatures likely falling through the day Sunday, along with windy weather. So it's going to feel like winter for sure as rain and storms move out of North Georgia and metro Atlanta. In this system's wake, sunny and cold, breezy, brisk weather, much like what we're having today. Back in the first alert forecast, Monday into Tuesday, a widespread light freeze is likely, maybe another hard freeze up in the mountains. Breezy weather, more sunshine, chilly to cold afternoons, and this active storm pattern does look to continue as we get into the middle of the month, already tracking a secondary system that could bring impacts to the southern plains, the southeast, as we get into kind of the mid-month time period. So we're going to be watching that pretty closely for you. We will keep you updated at AtlantaNewsFirst.com, First Alert Weather app, Roku, Amazon Fire Stick. I want to remind you, First Alert Chief Meteorologist Jennifer Valdez live at noon here, coming up in only 12 minutes on WANF, Atlanta News First. So if you need another check the forecast, maybe coming into that stream a little late, of course it is still live for you on YouTube. It will be after it ends the live portion, and you can always grab that forecast coming up here in just a few minutes on Atlanta News First at noon. We'll leave you with a gorgeous view of Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport. Grab a jacket, stay warm this afternoon. Another check of the First Alert forecast coming up in less than 15 minutes.